And this is where the Elohim comes in. The Elohim comes in not agreeing with the pharaohs, because you had two types of Elohims. You have those who were cherubims and those who were cherubims. So it was two types, the agreeable and the disagreeable. And the disagreeable was the one who started off, and the agreeable one came to clean it up, which was the rulers of the sky. The rulers of the earth came and did what they did, and it's another long story. But the rulers of the sky came down, and the man, so he can explain to the womb man her role, her rules on the planet, and how she can get out of the torture that she is in. And we will proceed with that in a moment. Hey YouTube, what's up? Yeah, actually we talking about the history of their own, which is a great book that you need to go out and get. It's by Bonnie S. Anderson and Judith P. Zinzer. And this particular book will show forth and prove that not only are you living a European lifestyle, but the European lifestyle has been manipulated by man. There is no European lifestyle. There's only one lifestyle, and that's the lifestyle that was set down here and proven by what they call prophets. And these prophets maintain the stability and maintain a reference point, which we call books, which they call Bibles, which is 72 books from the Catholic and 66 books from what we call part of the Catholic or the Baptist, or what they call those who protest against the Catholic, and made it that. Now these books was put together by the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, and actually 323 was when Constantine the Great embraced the teachings of what is real and what is right and diluted it, and that's how these particular writings is still here today. So now, in the reference of these writings, you can use them as a reference point. Now, those people who just want to release you into the air of the universe and they have no structure for what purpose you are here, have no structure for the unity and how to make this unity, are absolutely wrong. And within the book that it's speaking of, right? Because I didn't write the book, and I'm glad they did write the book, right? But this book, you have what they call the women of the fields, you know, and you have different types of women, you know, that men establish in their capitalistic society. And you have what they call the peasant woman, you see, and basically what she was just a peasant, a regular woman, you know. I guess you would say like a square woman, you know. And she had a family, she was married, and she had access to land, you know. She had additional income, you know, and she had to make a lot of choices, and you know, some even survived outside their family, and they was given a certain value. These women were given a certain value. Then you have extraordinary women, you know, and these were the ones that perceived did things out of the system. They was out of the box, as to say. And some of them went into their powers that be, and they did a craft. And when they put these two words together, witchcraft, right? And that means a craft that was beholden to them, but could not be used because of the rules that man has set. And that's where you get that picture of the Bothany. The Bothany is a picture of the powers of all women, but it's not to be used because you have what they call extrasensory perception. So if you was to use your powers, you would not be in, you'd be able to be controlled, and then that would be the fall of man. So all this scariness and things that was going on, and the experiment of a capitalistic society has really held you down. Then you have what they call the women of the churches. Right? These were the one that had access to their full power, but was being restrained. And one of the persons that restrained them was Paul. If you was to read the readings of Paul, and Paul was first called Saul, and you read his readings, he said, "Oh, a woman can't talk in the church. She can't talk in the church." You see, but before the church or the Bible that Europeans had that brought to America, they had what they call nunneries, and these women of what they call God, because they use the word God from Greeks. You see, when the Proma, which is called Rome, or we call that leprosy, when these people, Greece, the word Greece is from the word grace, where they was giving grace and they was led into what they called Egypt. Now, at that particular time, Egypt was already invaded by the Hyksos dynasty. So when they came to Greece, when they came to Egypt under grace, they learned what they learned, and they just took it and they robbed all the true stories, and they had to put themselves in it so they would have a story to tell and a culture. So because they was coming out of the caves of Europe, in the caves of Europe, they was there for so long, they didn't even know how they got there. Because originally, everybody came from the black. And from the tip of Morocco, you had the Europeans, and they came from there. But we're now talking about Europe and the women and how they got to be subordinate, and how from slavery in America and trying to conquer the land of what we call the Midianites and the Indians, the sovereign, the Iroquois, Iroquois League as it's called, the Kanakawa, which means the land of the League of Peace. And from that, this is where we end. We're all up in this mess. And we're all going to find out, how to get out of this mess, because I am an Elohim, and basically I've come to do what I do. I've sent others by way of them stealing my information, and now we're going to see who lasts the long. The race is not to the swift or to those who have, but it's those who endure and those who help as many as they can. And it's not about black and white. It's about the woman first and her species and getting together with the sisterhood. And then from there, she should become her queen again. And then we'll sit down and dialogue with all the queendoms through the communication that we have had from my emergency pack that was sent down here. And you took it, you ran with it, you made computers, and you did everything. So you just set it up, and it's all good. But now, like I said, it's time to put it to use and to make war no more. So that's the whole thing is about making war no more, stepping out of the kill by kill animal nature and step back into the green light, not the light of confusion.